Today in this After Effects tutorial, I'm going to show you a really cool lower third which you can do in After Effects without using any plugins or preset. So this is customizable that you can change the text, the color or anything else. So I am Jeffrey Solomon and without any further ado, let's get started. So now you could see that I have made a composition. So the composition is 1920 to 1080p and the duration is 8 seconds and the background color is white. So now in this composition, you could see that I have made two text and one is the main text and the other one is a subtext. So I have used Open Sans font for both the text which you see right over here. First one is the bold font and the bold style, and the second one is the second one which you see right over here. It's the regular font style. So first I'm going to animate the bold text, that is the main text which you see right over here. So what I'm going to do is grab on the shape rectangle tool which you see right over here, and we're going to make a shape. So you could see the fill and stroke option right over here. So click on the fill option and set it to solid color, and click on the stroke option and set it to none. So I'm just going to go with kind of a orange color which you see right over here, and make a rectangle with just like this, covering the first text which you see right over here, just like so. I'm going to select the layer. I'm just going to name it as the bar. So now select the layer and click T in your keyboard and lower the opacity down to 50 just to make sure what is going on behind the bar which you see right over here. That is the shape layer which you see right over here. Just like so. Make sure that the text is just like this, just as you see right now. So now we are going to animate the shape layer which you see right over here. And before that, what you need to do is you can see the pan behind tool right over here, and just you could see the anchor point over here, and just pull the anchor point and put it somewhere right over here. So once you place the anchor point, select the layer, click S in your keyboard to bring down the scale option and unlink this and go to maybe like half a second forward and put a keyframe maybe like 30 frames. Yeah, exactly. The composition is 60 frames per second, so I'm just gonna go to 30 frames and put a keyframe in the scale and go to maybe 2 seconds forward, just like so, and put a keyframe in the scale by clicking this diamond option which you see right over here. Now go back to the previous keyframe and change the X value down to 0. So now you could see that we have got something like that. That's kind of cool. So what I'll do is select both the keyframes and click F9 in my keyboard, go to the graph editor and change the graph to something like this. To get something like peak like thing, just like so. So now click the layer and click T in your keyboard and increase opacity back to 100. And what you need to do is actually, you got this which you see right over here. That's good. So what I'll do is click the layer, select the layer and click Ctrl D to duplicate it, just like so, and change the color, change the fill, select the layer, the duplicated layer, and click on the fill option which you see right over here, and change the color to something like a bluish color, just like so, and offset both the layers. Maybe I'll even offset it a little bit so as to get a randomness in it, just like so. You can see the toggle switches move right over here, click it, and you can see the track matte which you see right over here. So now what I'm going to do is actually select the bottom layer and click the track matte option right over here and select it, and select the alpha inverted matte. So you're going to get something like that. But you can see that the blue color which we actually made is not visible. So what you need to do is actually select both the layers and right click and click pre-compose and change the you can rename it as the bar and click OK. And now you could see that we have the composition right over here. So just select the composition, click Ctrl D to duplicate it, and offset both the composition, maybe like the first composition a little bit, just like so, just as how you see right now. And in the top composition, that is the top composition, just add an effect called fill and change the color to something which you want, just like so, just like that, and offset it just a little bit, just like so. So you're gonna get something like that. That's kind of cool. You could see that we have got something like that. So that's kind of cool and simple and easy. But you could see that actually it's kind of so fast to open the text layer. So what I'm going to do is go into the composition and offset it a little bit, just like so. So when you come over here, you could see that it becomes a bit big and leaving some space for the text to reveal, just like so. So right when the animation kind of ends over here, you could see that we got something, some lines over here which we do not want to get. So we need to actually eliminate the lines. So what you need to do is right over here, when the bars animation kind of ends right over there, select both the bar layers and click T in your keyboard to bring down the opacity, and put a keyframe in the opacity and move a few frames forward and put another keyframe in the opacity right over here and change the opacity down to 0. So when the animation kind of ends right over there, it actually disappears just like so. Select both the keyframes and F9 so it actually disappears so smooth. So now till now you got something like that, just like so. So what you need to do now, you could see that when the animation kind of ends over here, and we don't want the text first, we don't want the text to be right over here when the animation starts. So we need to actually hide the text, and I'm not going to do any masking or anything like that. I'm just going to select the that is a text layer, and click T in your keyboard and just go over here, and right when the animation kind of starts over here, I'm just going to put a keyframe in the opacity and change it down to 0 and actually go a few frames forward, right out just one frame forward, and put a keyframe in opacity by clicking this diamond option right over there and change the opacity to 100. But make sure the opacity that the text is not visible right over here. So select the keyframe and just move it a little bit forward, just like so. So you could see that we have got something like that, just like so. So right over here, when the bars actually reveal the text, I'm just going to animate the text a little bit. So now what you need to do is open the text, and you can see the animator option right over here. Click on it and click tracking. So you got the animator 1, the range selector 1, and the tracking amount. So right over here, I'm just going to animate the text and put a keyframe in the tracking amount and just move a little bit forward, just like so. And put a keyframe in the tracking amount and change the tracking amount to maybe like 10. I think that would do good. I'll actually select both the keyframes, click F9, go to the graph editor, and change the graph to something like that, just like so, just like that. So that's kind of cool, and that's simple and easy and so effective, in which you can even use it for other projects as well as this one which you see right over here. So now I'm going to animate this one, that is a tagline, that is the subtext which you see right over here. Open the text, select animate, and click position to it, and you could see the add option right over here, and go to property and add an opacity to it, and reduce opacity maybe like 50% or 60%. That would do good. Maybe like 70%, yeah, just like so. Before that, I'll actually make the mask. So select the layer, and you could see the mask option, which is a rectangle tool which you see right over here. So select the rectangle tool and make a mask just like this. Make sure that mask is not showing the text which you see right over here. So what I'm going to do, maybe like increase the mask size which you see right over here, just like so. And now in the mask tab which you see right over here, you could see the inverted option right over here. Click inverted, and yeah, that's it. So what you need to do is again go to the animator 1 and increase the X value right over here, so as the text is fully covered by the mask. So now you could see that we have got something like that. Maybe I'll actually add another property to it, that is a scale property, and reduce the scale down to 10%, just like so. And go to the range selector, and right over here when the animation kind of ends right over here, I'm just gonna start the animation. Just put a keyframe in the offset and just go a little bit forward, maybe like 1.5 seconds forward, and change it to 100, which you see right over here, just like so. And select both the keyframes, click F9, go to the graph editor, and change the graph to somewhat like, kind of a peak like thing which you see right over there. If you want, you can actually play along with the settings which you see right over here. You can actually even change the opacity down to 0, and you could see the evolution of the text coming out, which you see right over there. Click on the animate and I'm going to add another tracking to it. So what I'll do is right over here, when the animation kind of ends right over here, that is the subtext animation. I'm just gonna add a tracking amount to it, put a keyframe in the tracking amount, and move a little bit forward, maybe like a half a second or 3/4 of a second, and increase the tracking amount to 10%, just like so. And select both the keyframes and click F9 and go to the graph editor and change the graph to something like that, just like so. Maybe you can actually even make a peak like thing which you see right over there. So it starts smooth and ends smooth, just like so. Actually increase the size of it by holding Alt and just like that. So just like that, you could see that we have got a really cool lower third which you see right over here. So now what I'm going to do is actually add a line over here in between both the texts. Grab on the pen tool, select the fill option and change it to none. And select the stroke option and change it to solid color and change the stroke color to kind of a black color. Maybe I'll select the same color which you see right over here, just like so. And make a line which you see right over. I'll change the stroke value size to 30. Make a line by holding shift, just like so. You could see that we have got kind of a basic line which you see right over there, and select the shape layer. I'll reduce maybe like even change it to 7. Yeah, that'll do good. So what I'm gonna do is select the layer, open it, add a chimp parts to it, open the chimp parts, and right when the animation of the subtitle starts right over here, I'm just gonna put a keyframe in the offset in the end value and change it to 0. And right when the animation kind of ends right over here, halfway through of the animation, put a keyframe in the end value, change it to 100. Select both the keyframes, click F9 in the keyboard, go to the graph editor, and change the graph to something like that. So you're gonna get an animation something like that. So now to render it, go to the composition and click add to render queue, just as you do if you're working in any composition of any project. So now you could see that we have got the composition in the render queue. So click the output module and change the lossless to whatever you want. I'm just gonna go with QuickTime, and now this is the main important thing. So you could see the background over here. So if you export with the RGB, you're gonna get only with a white surface or something, a black background. We don't need that. So what you need to do to get a plain background that is no background, just checkbox the RGB plus alpha which you see right over here. Just click the output 2 and select your location and click save. And select your location and click save and click render. So that's it guys for today, and if you guys like the video, please make sure to the like button along with the subscribe button, and please stay tuned for more videos. Thanks for watching, bye and take care.